Overthinking is a silent thief stealing your joy, your peace, and every moment you could be living fully. Let me tell you something, overthinking is a silent thief. It sneaks into your mind and robs you of your peace, your joy, and your ability to move forward. Every time you let those doubts and worries take over, you're allowing your happiness to slip through your fingers. Life is too short to spend it trapped in the prison of your own thoughts. You've got dreams to chase, goals to conquer, and happiness to claim, but you'll never get there if you're constantly replaying the past or obsessing over the future. I want you to understand that overthinking is not progress. It's not preparation. It's procrastination in disguise. You think by analyzing and reanalyzing you're getting ahead, but you're only holding yourself back. You want to be happy. You want to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. Then you've got to stop letting your mind be your worst enemy. It's time to take control, trust yourself, and live in the moment. Overthinking leads to inaction. It's like standing at the edge of a decision, staring into an endless maze of possibilities, yet unable to move. You start by questioning a small detail, but soon your mind spirals, and now you're second-guessing every step you've taken. What should have been a moment of decision becomes an overwhelming process of doubt and analysis. And when you're caught in that mental loop, action seems impossible. It's like being stuck in quicksand. The more you think, the deeper you sink. When you overthink, the simplest choices become monumental tasks. You hesitate, you weigh every possible outcome, and before you know it, you've talked yourself out of making any decision at all. You start questioning your abilities, your direction, and even your own worth. Every what if plays in your mind on repeat. And soon you're frozen, unable to make even the smallest moves toward your goals. This hesitation feeds into a cycle of self-doubt where each day feels like you're standing still while the world keeps moving forward without you. What we fail to realize in these moments of overthinking is that life waits for no one. While we sit and dwell on every possible outcome, time is ticking, and the opportunities we once had slip away. You might think you're being careful or thorough, but in reality, you're missing the moments that could change your life. Opportunities don't come around forever. And while you're stuck in indecision, others are out there seizing them. Success doesn't reward those who wait too long. It rewards those who take action, even in uncertainty. Overthinking creates a barrier between you and the action you need to take. Instead of trusting your instincts or making a calculated risk, you fall into a trap of endless analysis. This mental block prevents progress because you believe that if you think long enough, the perfect solution will appear. But life doesn't work that way. Progress is made through movement, not endless contemplation. Perfection isn't real, action is. The longer you overthink, the further you drift from the life you want to live. Overthinking robs you of the present moment, pulling you into a constant tug of war between the past and the future. Your mind gets stuck replaying old conversations, revisiting decisions you can't change, or predicting every possible outcome of things yet to come. And while you're stuck in that loop, the present, this very moment, with all its opportunities and beauty, slips away unnoticed. You're not really living in the now. You're either trapped in regret about yesterday or consumed with anxiety about tomorrow, and neither of those places can offer you happiness. When you're lost in overthinking, the moments that should be filled with joy become moments of stress. You're at dinner with loved ones, but instead of enjoying the company, your mind is racing with thoughts of work, past mistakes, or upcoming challenges. You miss the laughter, the warmth of connection, and the simple pleasures of life are somewhere else. Overthinking clouds your ability to appreciate what's right in front of you. It's as if you're physically present, but mentally absent, disconnected from the very experiences that make life meaningful. Life is happening all around you, but overthinking blinds you to it. It creates a wall between you and the present, turning every moment into something to analyze instead of something to live. You don't feel the joy of a sunrise, the peace of a quiet morning, or the thrill of an opportunity because you're too busy replaying past failures or worrying about what might go wrong. Happiness doesn't reside in those endless mental debates. It exists in the here and now. But you can't find it if your mind is elsewhere, constantly distracted by what has been or what could be. The danger of overthinking is that it turns the present into something you endure rather than something you experience. Every second that should be lived with purpose and passion becomes weighed down by thoughts that serve no purpose. You lose the ability to gauge fully in life's moments because your focus is fractured. Even in moments of achievement or relaxation, overthinking can steal your joy, filling your mind with doubts or concerns that have no bearing on the moment at hand. It's like trying to run a race while carrying a heavy load. Your progress is slow, and the weight of unnecessary thoughts keeps dragging you down. When you overthink, you essentially press pause on life. The future becomes this looming cloud of what ifs, and the past is a never-ending replay of missed opportunities or mistakes. But in all this thinking, you forget that the only real time you have is now. The present moment is the only space where life actually unfolds, where happiness can truly be felt, where peace is possible. Overthinking strips away that reality, leaving you disconnected from the very thing that makes life worth living, the ability to be fully present in each moment. Overthinking creates problems that don't exist, turning small, manageable issues into overwhelming obstacles. Your mind becomes a battlefield where every minor detail is magnified and blown out of proportion. What starts as a simple decision or a slight inconvenience grows into a looming crisis in your head. You begin to question every detail, every possibility, until you've convinced yourself that something insignificant is now a major issue. But here's the truth: most of these problems are illusions, tricks your mind plays on you when you overthink. It's incredible how easily overthinking can distort reality. A brief comment from a friend, a minor mistake at work, or an unreturned phone call suddenly feels like the end of the world. You start imagining worst-case scenarios, creating a narrative that feeds your anxieties. Before long, you built an entire story around something that was never a real issue to begin with. Overthinking doesn't solve problems, it manufactures them. And once you start down that path, it's hard to see clearly, hard to distinguish between what's real and what's just a figment of your imagination. The mind, when left unchecked, can be its own worst enemy. Overthinking creates a vicious cycle where one small worry spirals into countless others. You worry about things that have never happened and may never happen, yet they feel as real as the ground beneath your feet. A small concern about the future suddenly becomes a catastrophe in your mind. You begin planning for outcomes that may never come to pass. And as a result, you waste time, energy, and emotional strength on problems that aren't even there. Overthinking tricks you into believing you're solving problems when all you're doing is building walls of anxiety. Even more damaging is the way overthinking can rob you of perspective. It makes small setbacks seem monumental, as if the world is closing in on you. What could have been a minor bump in the road now feels like a massive roadblock. You begin doubting yourself, your decisions, and your abilities, all because your mind exaggerated the issue at hand. Overthinking distorts your sense of scale, making a molehill into a mountain, and suddenly the mountain becomes an insurmountable peak in your mind. The reality is, most of the problems you create through overthinking are just that, creations of your own mind. They're not real, but they feel real because your thoughts have convinced you they are. And once you're caught in that web, it's difficult to break free. You begin reacting to situations that don't even exist, worrying about issues that will never materialize. Overthinking is a master of illusion, making you believe you're surrounded by problems when, in fact, most of them are just shadows cast by your own doubts and fears. Overthinking fuels negative emotions like nothing else. The more you dwell on a situation, the more space you give to fear, doubt, and anxiety. What starts as a simple concern quickly grows into a storm of negative feelings that take over your entire mindset. The problem with overthinking is that it feeds these emotions, allowing them to multiply until they dominate your thoughts. The longer you allow your mind to spin out of control, the more those negative emotions sink their claws into your spirit, making it harder to find peace and happiness. Fear is one of the first emotions to take hold when you overthink. You begin to fear outcomes that haven't even happened yet, and before long, you're paralyzed by the thought of what might go wrong. You start imagining worst-case scenarios, letting fear dictate your decisions and actions. That fear grows stronger the more you entertain it, creeping into every area of your life until you're afraid to take even the smallest steps forward. Overthinking gives fear the fuel it needs to thrive, and once fear takes over, it's difficult to break free from its grip. Doubt is another emotion that overthinking cultivates. When you overanalyze every choice, you begin to doubt yourself, your abilities, your judgment, your worth. You start questioning every move you make, wondering if it's the right one or if you're capable of succeeding. Over time, this doubt erodes your confidence, making you second-guess even the simplest decisions. It's like a shadow that follows you everywhere, casting a constant cloud over your sense of self. And the more you feed that doubt, the harder it becomes to trust yourself and your instincts. Anxiety is perhaps the most pervasive emotion fueled by overthinking. The constant cycle of worrying about the past and fearing the future creates a state of perpetual tension. You feel on edge, unable to relax or enjoy the present moment because your mind is always racing. Overthinking pulls you into an anxious loop where everything feels like a threat, where every small problem seems like it could spiral out of control. This anxiety not only affects your mental well-being, but also takes a toll on your physical health, leaving you exhausted, restless, and overwhelmed. All these negative emotions, fear, doubt, and anxiety, are thieves of joy. The more you dwell on them, the more they steal from you. They rob you of your ability to find peace in the present, to feel confident in your decisions, and to embrace life with a sense of hope and optimism. Overthinking creates a breeding ground for these emotions to flourish. And once they take root, they spread like wildfire, consuming your happiness and leaving you with nothing but stress and worry. It's a dangerous cycle, and the longer you let it continue, the more it drains you of the joy that life has to offer. Overthinking can be a silent killer of your self-confidence. When you constantly analyze every decision, every action, you begin to doubt your own judgment. You question whether you made the right choice, whether you could have done something differently. And this incessant questioning erodes your belief in yourself. Instead of trusting your instincts, you become trapped in a cycle of doubt, second-guessing every move you make. Each moment spent overthinking is a moment spent undermining your abilities. You start to focus on your perceived flaws rather than your strengths. Small mistakes are magnified in your mind, turning molehills into mountains. This distorted perception makes you feel inadequate, as if you're not capable of handling the challenges that come your way. The more you dwell on these negative thoughts, the more they become your reality. Overthinking also leads you to seek constant validation from others. You lose trust in your own decisions and begin relying on external opinions to guide you. This dependence weakens your inner voice, making it harder to stand firm in your choices. You give away your power, allowing others to shape your path, which further diminishes your confidence and sense of self. As your self-assurance wanes, fear takes its place. You're afraid to take risks, to step out of your comfort zone, because you doubt your ability to succeed. Opportunities pass you by because you're too consumed with what-ifs and potential failures. This hesitation prevents you from growing, from reaching your full potential, and it all stems from the overthinking that has convinced you that you're not enough. Overthinking creates a barrier between you and the confident person you have the potential to be. It clouds your judgment, distorts your self-image, and holds you back from pursuing your dreams. By allowing overthinking to control your thoughts, you allow it to destroy the very foundation of your confidence. Overthinking is a productivity killer. When your mind is swirling with endless thoughts and doubts, it becomes increasingly difficult to concentrate on the task at hand. Your attention is divided. Instead of focusing on what needs to be done, you find yourself caught in a web of analysis. This mental clutter pulls your focus away from your goals, making even simple tasks feel overwhelming and burdensome. Each distraction keeps you from fully engaging with your work, resulting in a significant drop in your overall productivity. As you overthink, you enter a cycle of indecision that can paralyze your progress. You spend more time contemplating every possible outcome than actually taking action. Each decision feels monumental, laden with pressure, and as a result, you hesitate. The fear of making the wrong choice leads to procrastination, and before you know it, days turn into weeks as you avoid making any move at all. This stagnation not only affects your current projects, but can also create a backlog of tasks, leaving you feeling even more overwhelmed. In a state of overthinking, your mind often gets stuck in a loop. You revisit the same ideas, the same worries, and the same uncertainties, which keeps you from moving forward. While you're busy analyzing and reanalyzing, the clock keeps ticking, and tasks that should take a few minutes can stretch into hours. You end up working harder but achieving less, expending energy without any real progress. This cycle can lead to frustration, which only compounds your tendency to overthink. The stress that accompanies overthinking can drain your motivation. The constant pressure to get everything perfect can create a mental barrier that makes it harder to find the drive to work. When your mind is preoccupied with worry, your energy levels plummet, and what should be an engaging project can become a chore. You begin to dread the tasks you once enjoyed, and your passion for your work fades away under the weight of overthinking. Overthinking hinders your ability to perform at your best. It turns productivity into an uphill battle, sapping your energy and motivation. By allowing yourself to get trapped in a cycle of doubt and indecision, you not only slow down your progress, but also diminish your confidence in your capabilities. To reclaim your productivity, it's crucial to recognize the impact of overthinking and take steps to break free from its grip. Allowing yourself to focus on taking action and making progress Overthinking acts as a formidable barrier to creativity. When you find yourself mired in analysis, your mind becomes a rigid framework that stifles imaginative thoughts. Creativity thrives in an environment of freedom and exploration. Yet overthinking creates a mental prison where every idea is scrutinized, every thought weighed down by doubt. Instead of allowing ideas to flow freely, you become trapped in a cycle of second guessing, and the vibrant spark of creativity dims as a result. The essence of creativity lies in spontaneity and playfulness. It flourishes when you allow your mind to wander, to explore without boundaries. However, overthinking clamps down on this natural process, forcing you to conform to rigid expectations and standards. You become overly critical of your own thoughts, filtering them through a lens of fear and perfectionism. This critical voice drowns out the innovative ideas that could emerge, leaving you feeling stagnant and uninspired. Additionally, overthinking creates a heightened sense of pressure that can stifle your creative impulses. When you feel compelled to produce something perfect, the weight of that expectation can lead to a paralyzing fear of failure. As a result, you hesitate to share ideas or take risks, fearing judgment or rejection. This fear further constricts your creative process, as you shy away from exploring unconventional or bold concepts that could lead to breakthrough moments. The irony is that creativity often emerges from the unexpected and the unplanned. It's in the moments of relaxation and free thinking that the most innovative ideas can surface. But when you're stuck in a loop of overanalysis, you miss out on those moments entirely. You may find yourself rehashing the same thoughts instead of allowing new ones to emerge, which can lead to a cycle of frustration. The more you strive for creativity through overthinking, the further away it seems. To unlock your creative potential, it's essential to recognize how overthinking blocks your flow. Embracing a more relaxed mindset can allow ideas to surface naturally, fostering them where creativity can thrive. Instead of being your own worst critic, give yourself permission to explore, experiment, and think outside the box. Remember, creativity flourishes when you let go of the need for perfection and open yourself up to the beauty of possibility. Overthinking is often fueled by an underlying current of fear that paralyzes action and stifles progress. It's a relentless cycle where the fear of failure looms large, casting shadows over your aspirations and dreams. This fear can lead to excessive rumination, where you replay past failures or anticipate future disappointments, trapping you in a loop that discourages you from taking the necessary risks to succeed. Instead of moving forward with confidence, you find yourself standing still, held hostage by the very fears that should propel you to grow. The fear of judgment is another potent force behind overthinking. You may become overly concerned about how others perceive you, letting the opinions of those around you dictate your decisions and actions. This concern can lead to a crippling self-consciousness, where every idea feels vulnerable to scrutiny. When you're preoccupied with what others might think, your creative instincts are stifled, and your willingness to express yourself diminishes. You may find yourself conforming to the expectations of others, sacrificing your individuality and creativity in the process. The fear of the unknown can also be a significant barrier. When you're faced with uncertainty, your mind tends to leap to worst-case scenarios, creating a mental fog that clouds your judgment. This fear makes it difficult to embrace new opportunities or ventures, leaving you hesitant to take the leap into uncharted territory. The unknown can be intimidating, but it's also where growth and discovery reside. By allowing fear to dictate your actions, you limit your potential and confine yourself to the familiar, missing out on the possibilities that lie beyond your comfort zone. As you remain stuck in fear, your self-confidence dwindles, reinforcing a cycle that is hard to break. Each moment of hesitation reinforces the idea that you're not capable of handling challenges, further feeding your fears. You begin to internalize this narrative, telling yourself that you're not good enough, smart enough, or brave enough to pursue your goals. This self-fulfilling prophecy can be devastating, robbing you of the belief that you can overcome obstacles and achieve your dreams. To break free from this fear-induced paralysis, it's crucial to recognize that overthinking is not just a mental exercise, it's a thief of potential. Instead of allowing fear to keep you stuck, confront it head-on. Embrace the unknown as an opportunity for growth, challenge the judgments of others, and redefine your relationship with failure. Remember, every great success story is often preceded by moments of uncertainty and risk. By stepping out of the shadows of fear and into the light of possibility, you can unlock your true potential and start living a life driven by action rather than anxiety. Overthinking doesn't merely affect your own mental state, it spills over into your relationships, creating waves of tension and misunderstanding. When you find yourself mired in thoughts, it becomes increasingly difficult to communicate effectively with those around you. You may start interpreting their words or actions through a distorted lens of doubt and insecurity, leading to miscommunications that can spiral into conflict. Instead of having open, honest conversations, you find yourself trapped in a cycle of assumptions and second guessing, creating an emotional distance between you and your loved ones. As you overanalyze interactions, you may begin to read into things that aren't there. A simple text message can be dissected for hidden meanings, and a friend's casual remark may be blown out of proportion. This hyper-focus on perceived slights or misunderstandings can create an atmosphere of distrust. When you're constantly looking for reasons to feel hurt or offended, you lose the ability to appreciate the genuine intentions behind others' actions. Your mind fabricates scenarios that lead to unnecessary conflicts, often resulting in rifts that could have easily been avoided. Overthinking also fosters a sense of isolation. When you're stuck in your head, you may withdraw from others, feeling that they wouldn't understand your worries or anxieties. This withdrawal can create a sense of loneliness, as the people who care about you are left feeling confused and shut out. Instead of reaching out for support, you might keep your struggles to yourself, allowing the weight of overthinking to build up inside you. This isolation only deepens the rift in your relationships, as your loved ones may feel helpless and unsure of how to connect with you. Moreover, the emotional turmoil caused by overthinking can lead to resentment. When you let your fears and doubts dictate your interactions, it's easy to blame others for your emotional state. You may find yourself projecting your insecurities onto those closest to you, which can lead to misunderstandings and bitterness. Instead of taking responsibility for your feelings, you might lash out or withdraw, leaving your loved ones feeling frustrated and helpless. This strain can erode the foundation of trust and support that relationships are built upon, creating a cycle of hurt that's difficult to break. To preserve the integrity of your relationships, it's essential to recognize the impact of overthinking. Instead of allowing your mind to run wild with assumptions and fears, prioritize open communication. Share your thoughts and feelings with those you care about, allowing them to offer support and perspective. Remember that vulnerability fosters connection, and expressing your struggles can often bring you closer together. By breaking the cycle of overthinking and choosing to engage with your loved ones authentically, you can cultivate healthier, more fulfilling relationships that withstand the tests of time. Overthinking is a habit that often feels like it has taken control of your mind, but the truth is, you have the power to reclaim that control. It begins with the realization that you can choose where to direct your thoughts. Every time you find yourself spiraling into a cycle of doubt and excessive analysis, remember that you possess the ability to change course. Instead of getting trapped in the loop of overthinking, you can consciously decide to shift your focus toward more constructive, positive thoughts. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with a commitment to take charge of your mental landscape. Breaking the habit of overthinking requires you to cultivate self-awareness. Pay attention to the moments when your mind begins to wander into the realm of doubt and worry. Recognize those trigger situations, people, or thoughts that lead you down that familiar path of analysis paralysis. Once you're aware of these patterns, you can implement strategies to redirect your thinking. Techniques like mindfulness, meditation, or even simple breathing exercises can help ground you in the present moment, allowing you to break free from the chains of overthinking. By focusing on the here and now, you create space for clarity and calmness, which are essential for making sound decisions. Trusting your instincts is a critical part of overcoming overthinking. Often we possess an inner compass that can guide us toward the right choices if we only allow ourselves to listen. When you find yourself second-guessing your decisions, take a step back and tune into your gut feelings. This trust in yourself can be a powerful antidote to the paralysis that overthinking brings. Instead of analyzing every possible outcome, embrace the idea that making mistakes is a part of growth. Each choice you make, whether right or wrong, provides valuable lessons that contribute to your development. It's essential to challenge the notion that overthinking equates to thoroughness or carefulness. In reality, excessive analysis often leads to inaction and missed opportunities. Remind yourself that life is too short to be weighed down by unnecessary worries. Embrace the idea that you can make decisions based on the information available to you in the moment, rather than feeling compelled to gather every possible detail. Allow yourself to take calculated risks and to act with confidence, knowing that you have the ability to adapt and respond to whatever comes your way. Breaking free from the habit of overthinking is an empowering choice. It's a commitment to prioritizing your mental well-being and embracing a more fulfilling life. By shifting your focus, trusting your instincts, and allowing yourself to be present, you can liberate your mind from the grips of constant analysis. Remember, you are in control of your thoughts, And with practice, you can cultivate a mindset that fosters clarity, confidence, and happiness. Embrace this journey of transformation and take the reins of your mental landscape, because the power to change is within you. In conclusion, the battle against overthinking is one that we can all fight and win. The burdens of fear, doubt, and anxiety may seem overwhelming, but they are not insurmountable. You have the power to reclaim your mind, to choose thoughts that uplift rather than hinder. Remember that overthinking robs you of the present, strains your relationships, and keeps you shackled to a cycle of fear and indecision. But with awareness and determination, you can break free from these chains. The path to liberation begins with a simple choice, the choice to trust yourself, to embrace uncertainty, and to take action in the face of fear. Each time you consciously shift your focus away from doubt and towards possibility, you take a step closer to a life of fulfillment and happiness. Understand that the journey to overcoming overthinking is not a solitary one. It's a collective experience shared by many. Together, we can create a culture that values action over analysis and support one another in breaking free from the limits of our own minds. So I urge you, let go of the need for perfection and embrace the beauty of imperfection. Let go of the need to control every outcome and welcome the unknown with open arms. Life is too precious to be spent in a fog of uncertainty. Choose to live boldly, to step out of your comfort zone, and to trust that the answers will reveal themselves in time. Now is your moment. Break the cycle, embrace clarity, and above all, choose happiness. Because when you choose to stop overthinking, you begin to truly live. Thank you.